I think the reason that I've just historically, traditionally gotten 75 or 80% of the Jewish vote when I run for office, whether it was Secretary of State or Congress or the United States Senate, is because so many of the teachings and the tenets of Judaism towards justice, whether it's towards justice, towards economic fairness, towards opportunity for young people, and just our place in the world have been so aligned. I mean, my position on women's health, my opponent is a very different place on, I believe, I mean, I trust, unlike my opponent, I trust women to make their own decisions in Ohio on their health care. My opponent doesn't even believe in exceptions for rape, incest, and health or life of the woman. On gay rights, on all those issues that the Jewish community overwhelmingly supports, because the Jewish community is all about justice, partly because of the difficult history of Jews in Central Europe, partly because of the anti-Semitism that we've seen all too often rear its ugly head. There is nobody out there like the Jewish community and their support of civil rights in this country in the 1960s and their support of civil liberties. For all of our history and the courage that so many Jewish activists have shown, standing up not just for other Jews, but standing up for minorities, standing up for justice. And I think that's the basis of most of my support with the Jewish community here. I backpacked to Israel when I was actually years and years and years ago. I didn't visit prime minister. I was a state legislator at the time, but I didn't visit prime ministers. I just went with a friend. Been to Israel a number of times. Now when I go, I get to meet with prime ministers, but back then I didn't. In many ways, it was a more interesting trip then because I really saw the desert bloom, what I had learned in Sunday school as a Lutheran kid growing up in Mansfield, and I saw the the historic Christian sites too. I remember when I went to my first government trip, my first trip as a member of Congress to Israel, with Fred Rzepka and Harley Gross, and I'll never forget, with the Canadian-Israeli guide, took us to the top of where the Sermon on the Mount was supposedly delivered, where the church now is. It's become a bit more commercialized in the last 20 years, and the guide handed me Matthew 5 and asked me to read what Tip O'Neill said was the greatest political speech ever given, the Sermon on the Mount. And moments like that, there's something about going to Israel as a Christian as going to Israel as a Jew, and for the first time especially, or any number of times, and having those incredibly inspiring feelings about God, about my upbringing, and about justice.